Managing Manchester United is one of the toughest jobs in the world of football. And there's one man who did it for 27 long years. And his name is Sir Alex Ferguson. Exactly 10 years back, we saw Manchester United host Swansea City at Old Trafford, and it ended up being Sir Alex Ferguson's last game as manager of the club at Old Trafford. Today, we tell you the story behind his exit from Old Trafford. It was a secret that was kept for the longest time but eventually was leaked. Back in the day, health wasn't one of the reasons why Sir Alex Ferguson decided to call it a day at Old Trafford. But it was his wife Kathy who'd lost her sister in October 2012, and she was finding it hard to come to terms with the loss of her sister. She wasn't keeping well, and that is when in December 2012, Sir Alex Ferguson decided that he's gonna end his time as manager at Old Trafford. He goes ahead and in his book he talks about this particular instance when he talked about this decision with his wife Kathy, who's surprised as to why he was taking this decision. But then he later he went ahead and said that because Kathy was finding it hard to come to terms with the loss of her sister, he decided to go ahead and decide that he will not be managing the club from 2013 onwards. So after Fergie decided in December 2012 that he's gonna not manage the club from next summer, who were the first people that he informed about it? The first person to be informed about this decision was none other than David Gill, who was back then the chief executive of the club. David Gill did not try to change Ferguson's mind because firstly he knew that no matter what he said it won't change Ferguson's mind, but also once he got to know the story, he did not want to change Ferguson's mind. The other people who were informed were obviously the Glazer family who owned the club, and it was just limited to the key stakeholders of the club who were informed about this decision of Ferguson wanting to quit the club in the summer. But the news was still not made public. The staffers didn't know, the players didn't know. Just a handful of people were aware of Ferguson's decision, and the club had decided that they're going to tell this information or share this information with the players, the staff, with the media, everyone in a systematic manner, because this was going to be one news that would shake the entire footballing world. So it was in the month of March that all of these conversations between David Gill, Sir Alex Ferguson and the Glazer family had taken place. And all of this, remember, happened very close to the heels of the Champions League fixture that Manchester United had with Real Madrid. Eventually, Manchester United lost that match, but there came the first clue or the first hint that Sir Alex Ferguson was not going to be managing Manchester United in the upcoming season. And what was that? And that's something that you only look back in hindsight and realize that it was indeed a clue. Sir Alex Ferguson did not come for the press conference after the match because Manchester United lost that match in controversial circumstances. Ferguson, his close aides have now over the years revealed, was just so livid with the way the match was officiated that he could not get a control, he just couldn't get control over himself. And that's why it was Matt Phelan who would come for that press conference, his assistant, and not Sir Alex Ferguson. Ferguson was angry to the extent because he knew deep down that he won't get another chance to win a third title. And that's why, in that rage, he decided not to go ahead and be part of the press conference. It was on April 22 that Manchester United's title was sealed that particular season. And up till that point, only a handful few had access to the information that Sir Alex Ferguson had indeed decided to retire. But then it was then, after the title was sealed for Manchester United after their 3-0 victory against Aston Villa, that this information was shared with other people. People who were then going to be tasked to ensure that Manchester United bade Sir Alex Ferguson a fitting farewell. A parade had to be planned, logistics had to be taken care of with regards to that parade, and there was, of course, other things at Old Trafford for that Swansea game that had to be planned as well for Ferguson's final farewell to the Old Trafford faithful, and for that more people had to be informed, and it was after the 22nd of April that this information was shared to more people, but also being told not to go public. So only those who were responsible at the topmost level as far as these operational duties were concerned and logistics were concerned, they were the ones who were shared this information. But it was the 7th of May 2013 when the secret finally went out. And what happened was that there was a meeting that was called, that of the staff members. The idea of the meeting was, to convey to everyone that the following day, on the 8th of May, a big announcement is going to take place. Now, the staffers who were present at that meeting, they thought that this is probably going to be just a routine meeting, and a big announcement in terms of a sponsorship signing or some sort of a deal is going to be announced, and this is what they thought at the moment. But just as that meeting concluded, somebody who was present there said, and I quote, "The king is dead, long live the king," unquote. So this is what happened, and even those who were informed about it, and there were just a couple of them who had known about what was to come the following day, they were gobsmacked. 8th of May 2013, that's when Manchester United wanted to make the announcement official. But what had happened the previous day, courtesy that there was already a lot of buzz around Old Trafford, and this was something which was already reported in the media much before Manchester United made the official announcement. What happens on the 8th of May, this is when Sir Alex Ferguson thought that he would also go ahead and share the news with his players. When he reaches the Carrington training ground, the players, the staffers were already talking about it. What he goes and what he does is he keeps it very short. Inside 10 minutes, he does go ahead and corroborate the news for people around him, for the players, for the staffers, for those at the club who were talking about it. There were mixed reactions. Most players did not know how to react to it, but Sir Alex Ferguson was angry at the fact that it didn't happen the way that he wanted it to happen. He really wanted to go ahead and share the information personally with his players, with his staff members, but it didn't turn out to be that way. But he still kept it very short, and then training resumed. As much as the players, the staffers were confused and didn't know what to or how to react to it, they weren't given any time by Sir Alex Ferguson to mull over it a lot. He was back to business, and he was looking at the next game that they had at hand, which was the home game against Swansea City, also which was going to be the last game for Sir Alex Ferguson at the ground where he spent 27 long years, and he managed to achieve everything that he said that he would for the club.